Israel and Hamas have reached a landmark ceasefire deal to halt war in Gaza. The deal, structured in 3 phases, includes the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza and the release of hostages. Qatar and United States announced that the deal, saying the ceasefire would take effect on
Because at long last, I can announce a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached between Israel and Hamas. For more than 15 months of conflict that began with Hezbollah's brutal massacre on October the 7th, more than 15 months of terror for the hostages, their families, the Israeli people, more than 15 months of suffering by the innocent people of Gaza. Fighting in Gaza will stop, and soon the hostages will return home to their families.
The deal will take effect in 3 phases, with the first phase lasting 6 weeks. During the initial 42-day ceasefire, Hamas would release 33 hostages. Those first released would be women, children, and elderly people, as well as ill and wounded people. Several Palestinian prisoners would be freed in exchange for the hostages, with the final number depending on how many of the 33 hostages are alive. Reports say 30 Palestinian prisoners will be released for each hostage, while 50 prisoners will be set free for each female soldier. Israeli forces would withdraw from crowded areas in Gaza. Reports say that the Israeli forces would withdraw from Netzarim corridor westward towards Salahuddin Road in the east. Phase 1 will also see the return of the displaced people to their residences. The second and third phase would be finalized during the initial 42 days. Welcoming the deal, Israeli President Isaac Herzog said the agreement was the right move to bring back hostages.
Special thanks to the President of the United States, Joe Biden, and his administration for their efforts. And of course to the incoming President of the United States, Donald Trump, and his people. I know that the issue of the hostages and the security of the State of Israel and its citizens are always in the thoughts of President Trump and the incoming administration.
Israel's cabinet was expected to meet on Thursday to approve the ceasefire and hostage release deal. Israel's Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said that the ceasefire deal was a very tough decision that the Israeli cabinet will have to accept. However, 2 of Netanyahu's ministers have publicly opposed the deal. Far-right Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich said that the agreement was a bad and dangerous deal for the security of the State of Israel, while National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir said he opposed the disastrous deal. Demonstrators in Tel Aviv calling for the release of the hostages rejoiced as news of the agreement spread. As residents in the Gaza Strip also took to the streets to celebrate. But even as thousands across Gaza celebrated the ceasefire, the Territory Civil Defense Agency said that at least 20 people were killed in Israeli strikes after the agreement was announced. Meanwhile, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump said that he would use the momentum of the deal to expand the Abraham Accords. The accords were agreed during his first term that normalized Israel's relations with several Arab countries. Trump has repeatedly threatened that there would be hell to pay if hostages were not released ahead of his January 20th inauguration. Our correspondent Gary Francis joins us on this broadcast from Beirut on the phone line. Gadi, what is the mood like and the reaction in the region that you're in right now, and largely the Arab world?
This is the million-dollar question in the region, especially with the new office in the United States of America and with President Trump expressing what his plan is for the region. The region is now recollecting itself to another era where reconstruction is a title, where gaining stability is a title, whether it's for Iraq, Lebanon, or even in Palestine. But as the news goes on, just last night in Gaza, more than 6 people were killed in an attack. So on the ground, it is still to be reported, it is still to be seen by the journalists of the world that will now be able to enter Gaza. And also in the West Bank, there were confrontations yesterday. So it doesn't mean it's the end for Palestine.
And Gadi, what is anticipated to happen next in Gaza, Lebanon and Yemen, as these are the fronts of resistance? What can you tell us about that?
The one common thing between Gaza, Lebanon and Yemen is the idea of confrontation is still there. The people and their parties and their political groups and the resistance groups feel a sense of victory. In Gaza, in the end, there was a prisoner swap deal, and the ceasefire points say exactly that the Israelis will exit the strip. So they feel and they sense that a victory has been expressed. As for Lebanese, the reconstruction is the title, but also the Lebanese people, the pro-resistance people, feel that they were not defeated because the Israelis in the end did not take any land. They were able to stay, and Hezbollah did not vanish. It is still there in the political spectrum and even as a military group. As for the Yemenis, we have been reporting that always. And I think in the following weeks, we will still be reporting because many things would escalate. The Yemenis did disrupt the world trade in solidarity for Gaza, and this will not pass easily, whether it's in political concessions, in talks, or in actual strikes that will remain in Yemen. We are yet to be reporting about this. The Yemenis have expressed their pride and victory, but their problem with the world empire is not only Gaza at that point.
Well, that was Gadi Francis joining us from Beirut with a ground report. Thank you for that.